Integrity IT Solutions is offering more IBM modernization solutions because our clients are asking for it. We help with cloud assessment services to identify the right workloads that make sense to move to cloud services. We start with architectural design principles, frankly, that span both open systems and IBM I. So we do consolidation and virtualization, enhanced data protection, which includes nightly backup recovery, high availability disaster recovery. We also provide migration services and cloud enablement. For our cloud enablement, we do a full cloud service to ensure that we understand the requirements for the application and just make sure it's a good candidate for the cloud. For first-time clients, we are offering a cloud enablement assessment, which allows our architects and engineers to come on site to understand your client requirements and ensure that the workload is a good candidate for the cloud. So for first-time clients, we offer up to a 40-hour assessment for cloud services. I partner with David Contreras to provide these services to our clients, and what I want to do first is define what IBM I cloud services as well as IBM I modernization services, what those are, so to help our clients better understand the types of services that we provide.
So in a nutshell, modernization is going to look at an assessment of where your hardware is, an assessment of where your operating system is, an assessment of how to utilize this database, and on top of that, you want to find out how can we modernize these applications via in-house design or third-party off-the-shelf.
One of the best parts about doing IBM I modernization services is disaster recovery. Now we can help our clients, instead of using all the capital to buy additional hardware and making sure they have the floor space and the power and cooling in their local environment, they can leverage cloud services to get hardware and software at a more reasonable point of entry and handle high availability and disaster recovery. So we partner, Integrity partners with a number of cloud providers to help our clients understand the best cloud service that they should be subscribing to send some of their workloads to the cloud. They do Vision Solutions Mimics. So David, anything you can comment on Mimics itself?
Sure, yeah, I've been working with Mimics for the last 25 years. I've worked with several products on the market. High availability, I've worked with at least a half dozen different high availability products. My area I like to talk about is disaster recovery, but for positive connotations, I call it high availability. And that means I can get to my data whenever I need to. It's highly available. I try to look at downtimes for backups, and I try to minimize your backup time by running that on your secondary system on your target box. We look at how we can have this system available to anybody in case of a disaster. Okay, or planned system outage. If I wanted to do some maintenance on my car and I had to get my family somewhere, I need to have another car somewhere. Okay, some customers don't have that, or actually, some purchase the car. But then here's the problem. I need a parking space. I need a garage space. I have to run insurance on it. I have to maintain it. So that becomes physically sometimes impossible or financially not feasible. So that's where we come and we look at cloud offerings where we can offer partitions and partial workloads where we can have high availability replication that has data from A to B 24 hours, 7 days a week, replicated, running your backups, and doing tests 2 or 3 times a year. We advise a quarterly basis to ensure that that data on your secondary systems is not only accessible, but you're able to use it to run your applications on a daily basis. So high availability, Mimics is one of the biggest ones in the market. That's actually in the past was a de facto standard. I work with Help Systems. They also have a product called Robot HA. There's also other product that's hardware solution that's called Power HA. Okay, so there's different solutions on the market depending on the needs, which will be done in the assessment, and your budget, and your technical personnel. That's how you pick it. It's a pick and choose here. There's not one size fits all. We have to do an assessment in your environment with your staff and with your budget. And then we come up with a solution that will best fit your environment. And that could be, hey, we will host it, Or you know what, you have it on your own, but we will help you manage it with a managed services offering, where we do quarterly role swaps. And role swaps entail going into your environment, understanding how the business is ran, and then when we do the role swap, work with your personnel to access the data, run reports, and run on that system as though that is your production box. So that's a quick synopsis of how we would go in and look at some high availability environment or disaster recovery, however you'd like to see it.
So then part of disaster recovery, if you're going to be using high availability, is to understand the workload and understand the performance it takes.
That is correct.
Is one person accessing the system, or is it 1,000 people simultaneously? So when you have concurrent connections, you obviously need the horsepower, you need the systems.
You need memory,
you need the storage.
you need memory,
That's
correct.
right. You need to build the right architecture in order to handle the workload. So that's part of the assessment that we would do when we're implementing disaster recovery, either on-premise or in the cloud, or a combination of two through a hybrid solution, to help our clients get ready and be prepared to actually use their disaster recovery solution. A lot of our clients are asking to go from, to your point, right? A lot of people are running old school systems or aged systems.
That is correct.
And we need to move them. They may be still running on Power 6 or 7, which aren't even supported now.
Some are on 5.
Fair enough. Okay, and we need to get them to the latest and greatest
Correct.
power systems. So what are some of the steps that we would take to help identify what's the right platform for our clients?
Okay.
And are we going to first recommend on-premise, or do we automatically help identify workloads that can go to the cloud?
Okay, well, what we do first off is we want to find out what their end game is. For instance, where do you want to be in? I usually tell people in 2 to 5 years, right? They're like, I can't think that far. I go, okay, give me 24 to 36 months. Where do you see this business going? And they're like, well, we don't want to talk about that. We need to, because I need to find out. Once again, we'll look at the cars. I have this car right now that I can run 4 people in, but you plan to, have a bigger family. I need to know, why would you buy this? Maybe lease it for 2 years, because in the years come down the line, you need a bigger vehicle. So I want to understand the business growth. Where do you see yourself the next 24 to 36 months minimum? And I put that in the back of my head, because I'm going to get all the performance information. And then when I put together the numbers, I'm going to throw those in, I'm going to say, okay, I want to build 15% over a 3-year period. So, it's 52% growth. People don't get, you compound it. And I know that because I always do the math, right? The quick math is it's 52%. So, whoa, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's where you'll be if you're only growing 15% compounding. So we want to look at that, because we don't want to get you an undersized box that in 18 months you're already complaining that you're having performance issues. We want to look at that. Then we want to evaluate your operating system and your hardware. For instance, is your hardware under maintenance? Is your operating system, is IBM still supporting that? And then we go, wow, okay, we need to look at it. We need to run tandem. We need to run both of these projects in tandem. For instance, what is the migration to a new piece of hardware, as well as what's the new migration to some new operating system? They might have to work in tandem. For instance, we might have to do a bridge upgrade. For instance, I need to go from X to X1 in order to get to the new hardware. So we will do the analysis and the assessment, not only with the operating system, but with the hardware, with IBM and IBM's resources and tools, or us as the IBM business partner, wherever case you like to see. On top of that, we'd have to do analysis of all your applications, be it off the shelf or custom. So what we do is a complete, thorough analysis of all your applications that you're running, that you've used in the last 18 months. We ask questions, but we do a very granular analysis where we look at the operating system and we find out everything that's been used in the last 18 months, who's used it, how it's being executed, any data transfers, file transfers, etc., etc., etc. We then summarize that by application, by programs, by object, and we contact the vendors and we tell them we're putting together what's called a roadmap. A roadmap from this operating system to the next level of hardware. Then we work with these vendors and we put together a game plan how we're going to get this customer to go from the older technology to the modern era. And after that analysis is done, we put together the game plan, we put together a roadmap and the project plan, we present it to the customer, and we allow them to actually pick and choose how they'd like to do it. But we also advise, you need to do some things first, you can do some later. The net of it, this is the plan, and I usually do the analysis and I give it to them. And I say, you paid for the analysis, you can do it yourself, or you can have us do it. And the difference is, you guys have never done this before, maybe 2 or 3 times. We do this for a living. We go in and we migrate we migrate older technology to the modern technology for a lot of companies. For a lot of companies out there, they might have the staff, but they don't have the extra time that it takes to dedicate the time to do this granular analysis. We're literally picking through the weeds, trying to find everything that happens on this environment so we can put together a comprehensive list of this is what we must tackle and conquer before we get you to the next level.
Integrity IT Solutions is offering IBM I modernization services to help our clients grow and change. And we offer a variety of services which include assessment services for cloud and modernization, cloud enablement, and then we also focus on standard architectural design principles which include consolidation and virtualization, enhanced data protection, that also includes nightly backup recovery, high availability, disaster recovery, and migration services.